Today is my youngest daughter's first birthday, and to celebrate that, we decided to smoke pulled pork. Now, I hope it turns out good. I'm not showing you that to brag that I can smoke pulled pork, but I just wanted to use that as an analogy because I'm talking today about ontological argument for God's existence. This argument was formed, classical version at least was formed by Saint Anselm of Canterbury. Saint Anselm said, if you can conceive or have a concept of being that is great and like God, then such being in reality must exist, he says. And he defines God as then that which nothing greater can be conceived. So basically, imagine this, to use my pulled pork as an analogy. Imagine there's a perfect pulled pork, tender, delicious, perfect barbecue, perfect smoke on it, perfect bark on it. Everything is perfect. Imagine that. And imagine two versions of that exist. One in reality and one only in your imagination. Which one is greater? Of course, the one that's in reality, because you can taste it, you can appreciate it, you can love it, and you can do that by tasting it. But in your imagination, it's only an imagination. So basically what this argument says is that if you can imagine such a pulled pork, then in reality such pulled pork must exist. Now, we can't say that about these contingent object because God necessarily exists, but this is a contingent object, my pulled pork. So because Guanilo, Anselm's contemporary, try to use that as a response to Anselm's argument, but this is a contingent, like Anselm said, but God is a necessary being. Now, this might be a convincing argument or not, but we can definitely draw devotion from this. You see, God said in Exodus 3:14 that when Moses asked, "Who are you? Who shall I say sent me?" And God said, "I am that I am." God was not flashing his title, but he was referring to something profound. He was saying, I am self-existent. I simply am. I simply exist. And as Christians, we get to worship that greatest possible reality that is God, greatest possible being that is God. And we can adore that and we can love God even more deeply because we don't worship a lesser being. We don't worship a lesser good. We worship the greatest being, greatest good. As Anselm said, God is something that we can conceive like that's the ultimate, maximally great being. And we get to worship him. We get to serve him as Christians, and we get to enjoy him. So I hope that kind of inspires you to deeply worship God. He's not just a random being, but he is transcendent, holy, perfect being that we get to worship, as Saint Anselm said. I hope this was encouraging to you today.